You are looking live right now outside Grandview Hospital as we wait for the procession taking Detective George Del Rio's body from the hospital to the coroner's office this afternoon. That is expected to happen at any time. As we zoom in a little bit closer, we've seen some movement here in the last 5 minutes. You can see at least a half a dozen motorcycle officers will lead that procession downtown to the coroner's office, and what is believed to be the medic unit that will be used off in the background there to transport Detective Del Rio's body downtown. Officers there you can see in full uniform, wearing white gloves. Something that is commonplace when, unfortunately, a tragic situation like this has had to happen. And again, we have Team 7 coverage for you this afternoon as people in Dayton, officers in their community, people everywhere, what they are trying to do to cope with what's happened. This afternoon, Chief Richard Beal said Detective George Del Rio passed away. And you can see right here, this is video from inside the hospital earlier today. This is what's called an honor walk. We wanted to share this video with you. Now, as you can see right here, police officers, DEA agents, and medical staff were standing in that hallway as the medical staff took Detective Del Rio into an operating room so he could donate his organs. Dayton police, as I said, and officers everywhere doing what they can to cope. And this afternoon, Chief Richard Beal issued a statement of the passing of George Del Rio. But today, Detective Del Rio helped save lives, as I just talked about. I want to share with you again that video, if we could, real quick, as this is a picture of Mr. Del Rio that the police department shared with us yesterday, 30-plus years. Here is that video again today, described as a very somber moment as officers stood shoulder to shoulder as Detective Del Rio was in that bed as he was moved into an operating room. I'm glad to have you along this afternoon, folks. I'm James Brown. I want to let you know, people who never met the detective, they're struggling with their own emotions today as well. Detective Del Rio spent 30 years with the city of Dayton. He was shot Monday night while serving a DEA drug warrant. He has a wife, 5 daughters, and 3 granddaughters, with another on the way. And this afternoon, Governor DeWine ordered flags at half-staff to honor Detective Del Rio. Right now, we have live Team 7 coverage for you. News Center 7's Cheryl McHenry has covered Dayton police for years. She leads our Team 7 coverage at the Montgomery County Coroner's Office. Cheryl?
James, I'm waiting here, as you said, because we are waiting patiently for a police escort to accompany the body of Detective George Del Rio from Grandview Hospital here to the coroner's office for an autopsy. As you look down the street, you see people gathering on that corner. That's the entryway where we expect the body of Officer Del Rio to be brought in. You see a police cruiser there. Engine 4 from the Dayton Fire Department is stationed right there. There are firefighters outside. All of these people are waiting to pay their respects to our fallen officer, George Del Rio. News Center 7's Mike Campbell has been at the hospital all day long, and he joins us live with more on the reasons the Dayton police detective is being called a hero in death, just as he was in his life's work. Mike?
And Cheryl, we are right outside Grandview, the emergency room entrance. These are the pictures that James was referring to earlier with the escort officers that will take George Del Rio's body from here to the coroner's office, just preparing to do that right now. In fact, you can see as you look down the street to your right, the police department has already shut down Forest Avenue in terms of allowing any cars to come downtown. They are already closing the road down in preparation for this escort to happen. Now, as we've told you, George Del Rio worked for the Dayton Police Department for 30 years. The last 20 years or so, he was assigned to that DEA task force, and Chief Beal said that, he saved many lives in that work, and also that his last act of life was also saving lives. This Spirit medical transport vehicle leaves Grandview Hospital about 2 Thursday afternoon. A company spokesperson confirmed to us they picked up donated organs, but could not confirm if they were Officer Del Rio's donations because they are not giving that information for privacy reasons. Dayton police confirmed only that Officer Del Rio donated his organs Thursday. Hundreds of law enforcement officers joined the honor walk inside the hospital. It's the tradition of having hospital employees line the hallway as a patient. In this case, Dayton Police Detective George Del Rio is taken from their treatment room to the surgical center for the procedures. The honor walk was followed by a brief prayer service held in a hospital gathering space.
It is a day to remember and to honor a life well lived and a life given in sacrifice.
With both ceremonies over, hundreds of Miami Valley law enforcement officers poured out of the hospital, many going right back to taking calls, serving their communities, something they believe Detective Del Rio would have wanted. We also spotted some of the 100 DEA agents on hand, whose identity can't be shown, consoling each other. Chief Beal says Thursday's response is the same thing he saw Monday night after Del Rio first suffered what would be his fatal injuries.
That lobby was filled. Parking lot was filled with officers. That's the unity of this agency in this region, not just Dayton police officers.
Back live now, you can see that fire department ambulance parked closest to the building there here at Grandview Hospital. That is the unit that is expected to carry Detective Del Rio's body from here to the coroner's office. Again, he will be escorted as we pull out. He'll be escorted by a number of officers and cruisers and these half-dozen motorcycle units that will also be leading that procession from here to the coroner's office. We're going to keep you informed of that, and also Cheryl McHenry is at the coroner's office, as you saw earlier, and she will keep you updated as well. We'll be back again at 6 to talk more about George Del Rio's life and how he impacted the Miami Valley. For now, reporting live in Dayton, I'm Mike Campbell. Let's go back to you.
Thank you, Mike. So now